So basically, what you have to do, right? You have to make sure, as I mentioned, right, and responded also when you raised this concern, right? And since if you are, not able to at all, right? So don't wait, till the weekends. Okay, still you can call. Okay, or maybe the ping right over the group, right? So that we will respond you. Okay, and if I don't know whether you have gone through the recordings, right? Because we have explained, but again, I'm going to explain. Okay. So basically, what you have to make sure as a part of uh, the item creation process. Okay. So you have to make sure that you must be having the product data steward role. Okay. So let me show you. Okay. So this is what the role you must be having, in order to access the PIM area. Okay. Or create the item, update the item, attribute, template, etc. Okay. This is a seeded role available in a system. Whereas you can create, you can customize it. You can copy the seeded that we have already covered. So you can copy the seeded role and then you can proceed. Okay. So this is what the role must be having with the user. After that, you must be having the data access. That is what the second step I have mentioned. Okay. So second step, the data access. So you have to go to the setup and maintenance. Within the setup and maintenance, you have to go to the task and then search. Okay. This is a while search. Okay. Anyway, you can, go to via supply chain and, the manufacturing. Okay. From this functional setup manager. But it is easy if you go directly, you can get it, whatever the task you are looking for. So you can type manage percent data access. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so if you notice, manage data access for users. Okay, this is what you have to reach to the task, and then you have to click on plus. And so which user you are working? Can you tell me the username? On the same
S
environment, or
S
you are using the different?
same sir.
Tell me your username.
S SCM dot
Okay. Uh-huh.
IMPA
Okay.
SSCL. एक मिनट.
SSC again dot, right?
Hello
Yes, yes. You are audible.
sir. SCM H
Okay. HCM.
underscore IMPA 1.
Okay. IMPL. Correct?
Yes, 1.
Okay. IMPL. So let me check if you have assigned that role. No, you don't have this role.
IMPA 1 sir, 1.
One IMPL one. Okay. Let me check if IMPL. I don't think you have created on this environment. IMPL1. Let me search. This one, right?
Yes sir.
Okay. Let me check if you have the role. No, you don't have the role. Okay. All right. So what we will do, okay, let's take this. Okay, we'll come back again.
So which
Okay.
role are you going to assign?
Yeah,
Product.
product data steward. Okay.
Yeah,
So if
no,
you,
sir, I have given the this role.
I don't see, let me check. Okay. All right. SCM IMPL1, right? One, there are a lot of, okay. Uh, mm, I don't see your username is active or any other environment you have created. I think so because I cannot see your username. Uh, can you tell me the email ID if you have entered your email ID or associated with the username?
Sir, actually, this is the account which you have given.
Okay, so that is different environment. Okay, that already gone, uh, for the cloning. Okay, so we don't have access now. All right. But anyway, now you understand, right? So basically, you have to make sure that product data, okay, product data, space data. So product data steward, that is the role you have to provide. Okay. Then you have to go to the setup and maintenance, and you have to go to the task and provide the data access. So data access also we have covered, right? So you can go to the manage data access. Okay. So this is what the task, second task. So you have to provide the data access to your inventory organization. Okay. So you have to enter your username, then the role, select the role, and in security context, you have to choose the inventory organization. Okay. And then you have to enter whatever the inventory organization name you have created. Okay. Once you're done, then what will be the third task? So you have to go to the manage item class percent. Okay. So if you notice that manage item classes. Okay. Once you, inside this task, right, what you have to do. So let's take an example in order to create, right? So you have to choose this parent one. Then only you can create your customer. You don't create your custom item classes as a parent. So you choose the root item class as a parent and create your customer. So click on plus. So parent item class will be root item class. You can create, okay, you can create item class. Okay, give the name, internal name, and description. And once you save it, save and detail. And once you created your item class, so let me go inside our item class. Okay, so ABB, that is what the item class we have created. Okay, okay, or any item class we can choose for now. Okay, so let's take an example. This is what the item class. You go click on the edit. Once you click on the edit, right, within the basic item management and security. So this is what the security area where you have to make sure that your person means your username must be associated. Okay, and you have provided and associated your organization. Then only, and at the bottom you have added the actions. Then only you will be able to create the items. Otherwise, it won't allow you to create or choose your respective item class, okay, while creating the items. Okay, so that is what we have to do. So let me create one item class. So we'll say ABB item class 03. Okay, so that you can understand. Okay, and then save and add details. Okay, once I click on the add detail, item management. Okay, item management, item generation, right? So item generation, I have said that the user defined. Let's take example user defined if you have chosen, right? So you have to keep enter every time. And for description also user defined. So we are not using the approvals and all, right? So user defined. Now coming to the security, within the security, what I will say, right? Rather than group. So if you choose principal as a group, then you have to enter name as a product data steward. Once you assigned group as a product data steward, so whoever in the organization having this role, they can also create the item, update the item and anything. So that's why it's SY is, so that's why it advises that if you would like to control or have a security in place, then don't assign any security at the group level. Okay. Or if that is the purpose, then segregate the roles as well. So let's take an example. If in a business they have MDM team defined, okay, who create generally, and manage maintaining the master data. So you can request to your business that give us, three, four, the folks, right? Whoever, performing this master data creation, and you can assign that a particular dedicated role. So you don't need to do, each steps as a person for all users. Okay. You can just go with the group option. That is good. Okay. But accidentally, any user got this access, then they can also create and they can go and update the item. Then you will be struggling with that, right? So so you understand when we have to propose as a group. So now if you propose as a person, right, then what is going to be happen, we will say, so let me choose a, okay. So once you choose the person, then you have to enter your username over here. Once you use your username, then you have to go to the, okay, your inventory organization and master organization. Both you have to provide. So we have created ABB IMO. That is what we have created. So first we are assigning to master organization. And when you scroll down, then over here you have an option to add all the actions. Means that particular person, what kind of activity can perform, okay, in a system. So you can go and click on plus, and once you click on plus, then search. Once you search, then it will list all the attributes. So you have to, what you have to do, either you can click at the top left side corner, it will select all the attribute in a one go. Okay. And you come down and you simply click on apply and okay. Once you've done this, you will notice that all the actions got added to that particular, the person. Okay. Same way, if you want, to inventory organization, because once you create the item, you need access to do the association of the item. So you can duplicate again. So what is the beauty of this duplication, right? Once you duplicate, then it will duplicate that particular record, and simply you don't need to, go to the again and add all those action will also get copied. Okay. Simply you can go and you can put your inventory organization name over here, and you will notice action is already there, and simply you can go and save and close. Okay. So this is the third step, that you have to make sure that you have provided the security access. And now if you go to the PIM area, so let me show you. Okay. So let's move to the
So
product
I did
management.
this mistake.
Yeah, that is what. So
In
this is what
that,
the,
I have added the inventory of only. I didn't add the master of.
so
So
then you won't be able to create.
yeah,
So that is what the, the area, right? So if you notice, now I will choose my IMO, okay, as a master, because
yes,
first we will
yes.
originating our item in the master. Okay.
Mhm.
Now if I try to search, you will see these two are earlier one. Now this is what we have created today.
Yes.
Got that?
This is the case. I
Exactly.
got this time.
Okay, no problem. So now you got that clarity, right? So sometime during the implementation also, maybe might be you are not performing that task or your team is facing, then you can also still help. You can go and check, right, what all the troubleshooting steps and all right. Are we good now?
Yes.
Okay.
Means, sir, I have done the mistake that I use the SCL SCM underscore IMPL one. So this is a
Okay.
different environment, I think.
Exactly.
So next time I have to create my own user, then I have to give this. Uh,
Exactly.
okay,
Yeah. So what you have to do, see, whenever we are sharing the environment detail, right, don't use the same username. You can create your new user. Now we are good, right? Enough to create our user, to create our assign all the roles, right, whatever required for as a implementation consultant, till whatever the inventory organization, master organization, BU creation, everything we have covered. So till all these steps you can perform and easy to handle. So as much as you can perform daily basis, then only you will get to know, or remember all the tasks. It is not going to be, 1 day task or a 15-day task that you will become, the experts. Okay. For having an expert, right, or expertise, right, in Oracle Fusion, you need to perform, you have to give the time to the system. You have to devote yourself and do as much as. So the beauty of this demo environment is that it is going to be refreshed, every weekend. So if you created one, then again you will have the opportunity to create and perform entire steps whatever we have done. So once you've done all this exercise again and again, after some time you will realize you will have all the task name on your fingertips. Okay. All right.
okay,
So now we were discussing, right? So we are discussing the value set. So still, I noticed that value set will have still the challenges. Uh, so I think might be will utilize, right, some other environment. Let's move to the other steps. Okay. So we have done the inventory transaction source type as well, that we have already done, right? Now today we'll look at the account aliases. Okay. So I think if some other environment we have, right, then we can, go and we can create. So manage account aliases. So we have also, the key flex fields available for the account aliases. Okay. And you can define the key flex fields, and then you can, define your own account aliases, right, that you can use. I hope that it works. Okay. All right. So if you notice that, right, so this is what the structure already. So this is a one-time activity. Okay, you can create and then you can go ahead with that. Now to have the manage account aliases, right, what you have to do and where you are defining all the account code combinations. So first option, if you notice that organization, these are the organization code. Description. So for what purpose you will be utilizing your account aliases, and then account number. So what will be your the charge account, your expense account, or you are utilizing to in order to perform that particular task. You can enter your code combinations over here. So user no need to choose the account aliases, the charge account. They have to just choose the their account aliases, and then this will be default in the backend. Okay. Then start date. If you would like to capture any additional information, that you can do. So in order to create, right, so we have our ABB INB 01. So that was our organization code. So we'll say ABB account aliases. Okay. Aliases, and we'll say receipt. Okay. Let's take an example. Now the code combinations. Okay. So code combination. Okay. So we'll search. So for now, I am choosing. So this all account code combination will be given by the business. Okay. And what will be the purpose to have the account aliases in a system? The purpose is that if you perform, right, when we perform the miscellaneous receipt or the issue, then we have to enter all these charge accounts, correct, in a system. Now, if you define this account aliases, then you don't need to choose your code combinations. Only you have to choose your account aliases and you can perform your activity. So we have created, okay, so let me,
Sir, like department wise is also can't different account numbers. Like
yeah,
store have the different account alias and warehouse has the different account alias. HR department has the different account alias.
yeah. So basically at the supplementary level, not, you can define at the organization level. What you can do, you can distinguish into the description. Okay. So currently we don't have, the criteria to have such kind of restrictions mechanism. Okay. You can just create, for the department point of view, this is belongs to the HRMS. Okay. This is belongs to, the store person. This is for what purpose? So generally in a business, they have, few customized specific to department account aliases. Okay. But most of the business, they have, the global, so that anyone if would like to perform the inventory adjustment. So your inventory adjustment is inventory adjustment. Okay. There is a no segregation of store or departments. Okay. Now let's take example, any material to be issued or consumed, right? Maybe stationery, one of the example. If they are maintaining all those stationery item as an inventory item and they want those item to be consumed, and for that purpose they are utilizing the miscellaneous receipt. Yes, you can create segregate, and then so if they are consuming, HR team consuming, then they will perform account aliases and they will consume. Okay. But in order to consume, we have mechanism of movement request, right? So that we will also cover. Okay. So movement is request is nothing but the in EB is called as a move order. Okay. So same way, move order will have the approval process. Same way we do have, approval process. Recently, Oracle released the movement request approval. Earlier, it was not there. Everything will go as a pre-approved. Okay. So we'll see that. So we have covered this, and you can save this. Okay. So let me again query. Okay. It got saved. So sometime you will go back to the home, and okay. So if you go to the inventory management, create miscellaneous transaction. So ABB INV01. That is what our organization is. And if you select ABB transaction type as a receipt, or maybe we can choose the account aliases receipt. Okay. And if you search, so our sources are not coming. Okay. All right. Let's go back. So we can create our own structure. So we have defined with the existing structure, so which is causing this issue. So we'll go ahead to the setup and maintenance. I hope that value set will work. Let's see. Okay. So if you notice that the task name called manage inventory account alias right? Key flags fields. Okay. So if you click there, same way, oh, we have the error over here as well. I think we might take one session in a weekday, right? When we have that demo environment. So I think we'll cover these topics because we cannot deploy again. Let me see. Okay, there are lots of error. All right, but anyway, we'll see that, right? So same way like the locator key flags fields, right? So we will cover this also. Let you know the environment to become okay. Then we will cover this topic. So I will do highlight. Okay. So these four we will cover. Okay. So same way, in order to create the flag fields, as I mentioned in earlier session also, right? You have to go to the and create the manage structure, then manage structure instance and deploy flag fields. Okay. So if you come to the structure and if you try to search, you will have, the lot of, available. So let me see if we can disable some, and anyway we can, let me see, ABB. Okay. So over here you can, define your structure, and based on, so this is also naming convention you can, ask your business to provide. Okay. This is a one-time activity. Now we have to create the value set. Value set, I think we'll see if any existing we can use. Value set. Chat. I think we have to check this also. Let me duplicate. So let's investigate if we do have any existing value set we can utilize. So you can go to the setup and maintenance. We'll go to the search task, manage value sets. Okay, let me try to search. Oh my God, still there are challenges. Okay, no problem. Let me. Oh, we don't type choice now. Let me again refresh. It won't allow us. In this environment, some challenges are there. See. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So we'll cover that, right? I think later. Okay. It's not working. Maybe in weekday, right? I will set up some call. So weekday, any time is fine, or anyway, I will check if you guys are available. Then we can have this session to be covered, right? We cannot go so long pending. Okay. So now, okay. So we'll cover the the movement request. So let's say source. Okay. So manage inventory transactions, sources and types. Okay. So let's take an example, movement request, right? Movement request is nothing but the move order. Okay. Means it will utilize in order to perform store transfer. So let's take an example. You have two departments. Okay. One is the raw material department, and another one is the physically you can say some packaging department. Okay. Now let's take an example. If they want any packaging item, okay, to be issued out from the store. So as a store person, I cannot issue directly to the packing department, because I need somewhere any request, somewhere the approval in place, right? Then only I can give it to you. Otherwise I cannot allow from my store to be issued any item towards your department. So in such cases, you can utilize this movement request, where as a store person, I can raise a request, and once it's approved, then I will come to you and I will give you my movement request number, and based on that you will perform the confirmation of the movement request. So that material will be issued from the raw material, and it will be delivered to your packing store. Okay. Now, in order to have the custom requirement or the customization, you can directly come to this manage inventory transaction sources and types. You can select the movement request, and below the task, right, you can create your own custom. Okay. So let's take example ABB material transfer. So that is what we have created as a custom. So any store required a material, right, we need to choose this transaction type. It will help you. So in a system will provide you by default two seeded transaction type. One is for issue, one is for transfer. But what will be the benefit or the beauty of this customization, right? If you create your custom transaction type, you easily able to keep track from the reporting point of view. So how much quantity, at what date, what kind of material will be issued or transferred, right? If you use the same transaction type, then you won't be segregate based on the department or something, right? So still you can create many of the transaction. You can look at transfer between the material to material, your department to department. You can keep that. Now, if you notice, there is a action. Action means you can perform only two tasks. So either you can issue from the store. So let's take an example, as I given you, earlier the example of stationery. So stationery, let's take an example. As on today in a legacy system, business is performing miscellaneous issue, right? In order to charge that cost towards particular the segment, right? balancing segment or department cost, right? You can propose this solution where the approval will also come, because miscellaneous issue or the receipt you don't have approval. Okay, you can achieve if business is looking forward some kind of the approval, then you can propose the movement request to be issued for the material from the store or transfer goods from store to store. So we have issue and sovereignty transfer. So I will choose the sovereignty transfer, and then you can enable the status control. Start date you can choose today's date. Okay. Now you can create another one. Okay. So we'll create another one. So ABB material issue. Okay. So that you will notice the differences between both. So issue from store. So enable. Now, if you are creating, so let's take an example. Sometime business having the requirement that I want so and so raw material to be consumed towards the project. Okay, and my movement request, the transaction type must be enabled project driven, right? Then you can enable this flag so that this particular transaction type will allow you to choose the project. Okay, location, if you want that to be required but keep enter by the business user, then you can enable, otherwise leave it. Okay, now start date you can choose. Now save and close. So we have created two our transaction type. Okay, now save and close. So we have done the manage inventory transaction sources and types. So let me capture manage inventory transaction sources and types. Okay, so we are utilizing movement request type. So what we have created, ABB material transfer and ABB material issue. Okay, so we have done this. All right, so let's move. Now after that, you can type manage movement approval. So once you search with the manage percent movement percent approval, you have the task called manage movement request approvals. Okay, so what we have the task, manage movement request approval. Okay, okay, that is what the task name. Once you click on the manage movement request approval, okay, you have four types of stages available in the system. Okay, so what all the differences between all these four? So basically, if anyone asks that, do we have the serial participants? You can say yes. Parallel, yes. FYI and parallel first responder wins. So what all the difference is? So first one is, let's take an example. If you would like to, parallelly approval to be triggered. Okay. So parallelly means it does not mean, right, that anyone approve, it will get approved. So parallel means it will trigger the same time approval for both the persons. And until unless both person approve that request, it is not going to be approved. That is what called as a parallel. If you say serial what it means, let's take example. I am first label of approval authority, I approved, then it will go to my top level. Okay, and then so on. Okay, you can have the job label, right, supervisor label, self. So all those you have individual label. Then third one will be FYI. Let's take an example. If so, it is not going to happen means we are so as a the supervisor of the department, I ask my operator to get it material issued from the store. Okay, but when my operator performing this request within a system I want, rather than I am creating, I want I must be notified that what material my operator is issuing from the store. So in such cases, you can set this FYI participants, means it will be for your information. Now coming to the fourth one. Fourth one is movement request parallel. First responder wins. It is a self-explanatory. What it means, when it trigger the approval, whoever, let's take example, it triggered the approval to 2%. So any of the person approve first, the request will be approved. So it should not wait for second person to approve my request. Okay. I hope that it's clear. Okay. So now we will utilize
Yes.
the C. Yeah. Any question?
No, I think yes.
Okay. Now, in order to enable, so first you have to come to this manage movement request approval and you have to select your serial participants. So we will be utilizing serial participant. I will show you approval groups, how to create, how you can utilize. So you have to first enable. Okay. Once you enable it. Okay. So let me enable. Okay. Okay. It got enabled. Okay. And we'll select and go to the edit rule. So we'll create our rules. Okay. So once you click on the edit rules, you will see that there are a couple of rules available. So we'll create our own rule. So we'll say plus. Okay. ABB ABB material transfer approval. Okay. Now you can set the priority. So if you have multiple, the approval created a rule based on your customer requirement, then you can create, the priority also, which rule will trigger, the first, and then rule always applies. So if you enable this, then this particular rule always be defaulted. Okay. Now click on OK. Material transfer. Okay. So ABB material transfer. If you notice that it's enabled, that is the rule name. Okay. Now you have to add the actions. Okay. Conditions. Okay. So condition will be, at this stage. So you can add the condition. So condition is, approval task type. So we'll say, since we are utilizing, ABB, our inventory org, right? It will trigger, for my inventory org only. So you can control based on the inventory also. So let's take example, in your business, you have many warehouses, but for few warehouses, you want that control to be available, then you can go ahead, and you can select the organization at the movement request header. Now we'll give our inventory org name. So if I'll create my inventory org, then this will be our default value. We don't have other inventory org created, correct? So you can add the condition. Now what else? So this condition will trigger for all the movement requests, but in order to have control, you have question in your mind that how we can control based on our transaction type, because for few transaction type you don't need. Business will ask you to dedicate it and enable it for particular transaction type. Then you can go ahead, you can add another condition and say select, the below. So we'll say transaction. Okay. So transaction type movement request line. Okay. So transaction type, what we have created, the ABB. So if you notice that ABB material transfer, ABB and ABB material issue. So we are selecting material, ABB material transfer. Now let's take example. If you don't want to add, multiple time this value. okay, what you can say is in. Okay, is in means, you can add multiple values. Okay, so let me enter ABB. Okay, so both, we have selected the type and say okay. So is in means system will validate if transaction type will be, belongs to ABB material issue or ABB material transfer. It will work for both. Rather than adding, one by one, you can choose this operator, respectively. Okay, so there are many operator. Does not equal to, is blank, is in, is not blank, is not in. Okay, so based on your requirements, right, you can choose all those operator and click on OK. So once we are done, after that you will notice that action. So you have to add the action. Now system, right? System, what system will do, right? In such cases, routing, route using. Okay, so you have option, action type as a approval required, automatic, information only. So this rule you are creating for information, then you go with the information. If you select the automatic, then you have only two options, either approve or reject. Means system will automatically approve or reject that request. If you say approval required, then route using. So how system will route that? So you have these four labels, right? Routes, where you can use either approval group, job label, single approver, or supervisor hierarchy. So these four options only available in the system. So if business say, is there any other than that? No. So only these four, the routes is available in a system. Either it will follow the job, supervisor, or single label, or the approval group. Okay, approval group also you can utilize. So you have, many person, okay, and you are not following the job level or supervisor, you can use with the approval group. So that dedicated, so rather than job label or the supervisor hierarchy, it will route to the approval group. So whoever part of that approval group, they are able to, get all these notifications. If you say single approval, then you can select your approval. So let me select SCM. Okay, so let me select the name. Let's search with the SCM testing. Yeah, so this is what our username. So we have selected. Okay, now in this condition, what is going to be happen, right? In this condition, it is going to be, assigned to me for my approval. Okay, you can add, further actions also, right? Let's take an example this time. If you would like to, do just this for information, yes, you can go ahead for the information also. So same action, it will perform, multiple tasks. Okay, so this is further, you can customize based on your business need. Okay, and once you save that particular record. Yeah, any question?
So do we have any option for the approval transfer to others?
Approval transfer, what do you mean by the approval transfer?
Approval transfer, like suppose some worker is on a holiday.
Yeah,
Uh,
delegation, you are saying. Yes, yes, we do have.
okay.
Yeah, you can delegate your responsibility for your holiday period, and you can assign, someone else who can approve on the behalf of you. That is available. Okay. All right. So whenever any such changes you are performing within the approval, you have to make sure that you have deployed it. Okay. Until unless you deployed your rule, it won't be effective at all. Okay. So you have to make sure that whenever you are creating any approval, whether it's related to procurement side, requisition side, or any approval. You have to deploy that particular rule. Then only it will be effective. Okay. All right. So let's wait to get it deployed. So now it's deployed. Okay. Then you don't need again to be deployed. So once you deployed, either you can deploy from this UI or you can deploy it with uh, between or inside this serial parts. Anything is fine. Okay. So we have done. Now let's take an example. If you have the approval groups, that certain approval group must be used. So you can use manage approval group. Okay. So manage approval groups. Okay. So what we have, manage approval groups. Okay. Now, once you click on the manage approval group, it will open the UI that is called the BPM work list. Okay. Where you can, create all those groups. So you can click on the group. So we'll define as a ABB approval group. That is what the name we have selected. Okay. So I have selected that name. So name got selected. Now I have to assign the user. So you can click on plus. Okay. So member. So we'll select our member. Let me search. SCM. So let's try to search. Okay. So let me search SCM dot testing. Okay. So testing. So this is what we have our. Okay. So we have selected SCM testing. Okay. So I have added the member. Now I have added only one member in this group. So this person can only approve that particular request. If you would like to, okay, add another person in a row in this group, then you can click on plus. Okay. System will ask you whether to above selection or the below selection. If you say above selection, then it will add, on top of this. Okay. If you say below selection, then it will add, at the bottom. So first, so you have to make sure who is the L1 approval and L2. So L1 will be here. We have already selected. So first you have to select the L1. If business say L2 has to be there, then you select the below. Then it will add after L1. Okay. If you selected above, then L2 will be first and, L1 will be second. Okay. So you have to, choose very, carefully these two options. Okay. So let's take example. If you selected the below and you can, so we'll again say, SCM testing. I'll give you just for the example purpose. So I've selected my user, click on OK, and I say OK. So if you notice, so I am utilizing the second person, but with the same name. That's why you will see. But this is L1 and this is L2. If you have a L3 approval, then you can add, the below again. Now, if you would like to delete, then you can also delete. If you would like to add it, then also you can click on the edit. So you have two options over here also. Either you can add the user or you can add also subgroup of approval. So let's take an example. First, it has to be approved by your supervisor. And second, the level of approval must go to the financial group, financial team for their approval. So you can choose that particular approval group as a financial group. So that also you can do. Okay. So these both options are available. So for I will delete. Okay. Now I will save this. So I have saved that particular record. successfully. And so this is what the task I have utilized. And if you go to the moment request approval, okay, and if you click, okay, and if you go to the edit rules, okay, at the bottom, okay, I just want to give you the clarity. If let's take example, I want that group. So approval group, we have created ABB. So you will see that ABB approval group. So this is how that approval group you can assign and click on OK. All right. So I hope that it's clear. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So we have done this, the movement request approval creation as well. We have done the custom movement request type. Okay. Now we'll perform the transaction in a system and we'll look at how it is going to help us, right, to do the material transfer. Okay. So we'll go to the supply chain execution, and within the supply chain execution, we'll click on the inventory management. Once we click on the inventory management, we are at the inventory organization. Now I will go and first we'll check whether do we have any on it. We perform a few. Okay, we do have, the on hand available also. Okay, so what you can do from this window, also from the manage item quantities, you can also perform the actions. So there are many actions available. Either you can check the view item availability, you can request movement request transfer, you can movement request issue miscellaneous transaction. It will redirect you to the same page, same UI. So anywhere, you can either perform this or you can go to the, the task at the front and you can perform. So anything you can select. Okay. So if I say, so if you notice, you have create miscellaneous transaction, create sovereignty transfer, and then you have the manage movement request. So you can perform from this window as well. So if I say manage movement request, so let me type it, manage movement request. Okay. If you click on plus, once you click on plus, movement request number will be generated automatically. You can select the description. So we are looking, ABB, you know, or we can say material required for department. Okay. That is what. Now transaction type. So if you come to the transaction, you will notice that you have, two transaction types coming. So we'll say material transfer, or we can use the material issue. If you select the material issue, you have to use the destination and the code combinations that you have to select. Okay, and then source sovereignty that you have to select. So let's take an example. If we say to be material issued, so I have to select, the destination charge account, because which account it is going to be charged. Okay, so that we have to select. So let me click on search. Okay, so we have selected. Now source. Okay, source is our, so source sovereignty. So we'll select our source sovereignty. So from a raw material I'm utilizing and I'm charging to this account. Now once you click on plus, you can enter your item detail over here. So we'll select our item detail. So we have these items. So let's take example. We have chosen one of the item. Now requested quantity, okay, and required date. So requested quantity, let's take example, 10 quantity I want. Unit of measure is by default. Current status is incomplete. Okay. Now source sovereignty got defaulted and if I expand that, then the locator. So we have locator. So we are utilizing the locator and destination. So destination sovereignty and locator is read only. Why? Because we have the source sovereignty, and we are issuing the material from the store. That's why it's grayed out. Okay. Once you're done, then you have to simply submit it. Okay. So our movement request was this. Let me take a copy of it. Okay. That is what we have created. Okay. And if I notice, I will search our movement request. You will notice that it's pending for approval. Okay. Currently. So if you go to the movement request, you will notice that it's required, the approval. So we'll look at if we do have the notification coming. We'll click on the all work list. Okay. Okay. So we'll see that there are no tasks. So let me go back and enable the notification. Yeah, it got saved. Let me refresh. Okay. So now if you notice, right, there is a one request, pending. So if you don't, if you won't be able to, see any notification within this area, you can click on the show all. Okay. Once you reach to this notification entire, so over here you have all option, either all assigned to me or created by me. So if you notice that there is a one count, okay, that is the movement request. Okay. Or you can click on the work list, you can get your notification. So once I click on the movement request, right? So let me click that. Okay. So if you notice that this is what the movement request number, right? Line number, how much the quantity. And if you looked at the show details, right, you will notice that, who is going to approve, right? All those person. Then you have an action. So either you can delegate, right? As you are asking the questions, right? How we can delegate. So that is the what the delegate means. If you don't want it to approve, you can delegate if you are available. Then the delegation rule is separate where you are not available. Means you are on the travel. Okay. Now reassign. Okay. So you can reassign this request to, some different person if you are not the right one. There is escalate also, suspend also, withdraw also, skip also. Okay, add comments, add attachments. Okay, so you can add as a approval as a comment as well. And before approving, let's take an example. I am the approval authority. I want more information, so I can click on the request information. So all this you can perform. So that is what the task for you, right? You can perform, and looked at, how the system is behaving. Okay.
Okay.
Now I will say approve. Once I say approve, I have to put comment. So I will say approved. Okay. If I have to attach any attachment, I can attach, or I will say submit. Once the moment I say submit, right, I'll go back to the inventory management. And if I go to the task and movement request, you will notice. Okay, so let me try to search again. So if you see, line status is approved. Okay. And if I come to the task, and again, if I go to the review completed transactions, right? And in today's date, if I want that to be issued, right? So I won't have that data. Okay. All right. So let me look at the request. Okay. So if you looked at, so this is what currently approved only. Okay. So what we will do. Okay. Now click on done. Okay. So we have created. So we have not created, our pick wave rule, right? So let's go ahead. We'll create the pick wave rule and then we'll come back for the transaction further. Okay. So go to the setup and maintenance. We'll create search, manage pick wave rule. Okay. All right. So manage pick wave release rule. So let me type it. Manage pick wave release rule. Okay. So that we will create. So let me create it. Okay. So we'll click on the plus. And once we click on the plus, right, we'll add all the name. So ABB pick wave rule. Okay. That is what the rule name I have chosen. That you can create, for your business. Okay. Now you don't have the opportunity to restrict this at the UI level. Restrict what I mean. Let's take an example. If you have the 5 warehouses and 5 warehouses, you would like to just, restrict that, if I am choosing the A inventory org, it will, allow user to select only A pick wave rule. Okay. And if I am into the B, then it will go to the B. No, not like that. So if you are working, you are going to do the pick wave also for A organization, B organization, or C organization. Any organization you are working, right? You can see all the pick wave rule. Okay, but you can, while defining the pick wave rule, you have, which ship from organization you want that material to be issued. So I will say ABB INV01. Okay. Then release status. Release status always you select as a all, right? So that whenever you have new transaction, that is called as a unreleased. If any transaction got failed because of the low stock, right, or stocks not available, then you have to choose the back order. If you selected all, so any of the condition it will work. So generally people will confuse. If you selected the unreleased, then it will work for the new one. And as a layman, as a business user, they won't be able to understand, the differentiation between unreleased and back order. Then again they will ask you, I'm not able to create the pick wave. So might be there are opportunity when they try to pick confirm or the ship confirm, then such material not available in the stock or maybe low in stock. So it got back ordered. So they have to select release status as a back order, then only the pick wave will be created. So it's a best advice, you can use the all. Okay. All right. So at this demand selection, only these two things you have to do. Now come to the options. Okay. Options, you will notice that ship from organization will get defaulted and staging subinventory will be get defaulted. Now you can default your pick subinventory. So if business say that I want this rule to be restricted based on the sub-inventory also. So there is a no such criteria. You have to create separate pick wave rule for all sub-inventories dedicatedly. Okay, so there is a no such control available as of now. Okay, let's take an example. If your business say that I don't want, pick from sub-inventory to be selected by defaulted, right, while performing the transaction, you can leave this section, so that what is going to be happen when you try to create pick wave, system will select wherever material is available. But if business say I want my material to be picked from the raw material store, then you can say, the raw material. So I will select my raw material. So now in this condition, it will always select my material from this sub-inventory and this particular dedicated location. Okay, since we have not defined the stage locator, so leave it. Now coming to the release sequence rule. So we are using the seeded one, and then pixel grouping number, we are using the order number. Okay, now there is an option whether to auto confirm. If you say the auto confirm, right, then you have to choose your ship confirm rule as well. Okay, so we'll see that the ship confirm rule. If business asks that not to have auto ship confirm, I want manually, then don't enable it. Okay, so now for that, for the time being, I am not going to auto confirm. I will do the pick confirm. I will say save and close. Okay, so I have created my rule, pick wave rule. What I will do, I will go back in the supply chain execution inventory management, and I will go there, and we have option called picks, where you have an option called create pick wave. Okay, so if you click on the create pick wave, now system will default the ship from organization, but other stuff system won't be able to default. So what we will choose, I will type ABB and try to search. Okay, so ABB pick wave rule. So if you notice that, right, show more, right, if you click on the show more, right, you will see that ship from organization is also defaulted, release status defaulted, options, everything got defaulted. Okay, now you can click on show less and order type. So order type also you can default. So let's take example, your business will have only sales order, then you can default the sales order as a by default. If your business will have the transfer order, no sales order, then you can default this transfer order. If system will have the return transfer order, you can choose the return. Otherwise, you can, leave it. So based on, the transaction, right, you can choose that. Okay. Now, shipping method. Okay. Shipping method. Also, if you have the shipping method, then you can do customer also you can define. Okay, and simply you can click on the release now. Okay, so if you click on the release now, right, if you don't have any data, system won't allow. Let's take an example. If you have an opportunity, right, that I want, or business say I have, couple of sales orders in a system. Okay, and when I say, couple of orders means they have lots of orders coming, maybe 10, 20, 50 orders in a day, or maybe during the time frame, right? Let's take example, 2-3 days there are pending orders, and they want all those orders to be picked. So you have an opportunity, you can choose the schedule ship date from and to. So only those records will get picked up. It won't, pick all the records. So generally you will notice all such, the requirements coming when you, the working, right? And if I come to the demand selection, you will notice that, schedule ship date and requested date. So either you can select all your record in a one go, based on the requested date or based on the schedule ship date. So anything is fine. Based on that, you can choose. Okay. So far, any question?
No, sir, currently not.
Okay, all right. So we have created now. What we'll do, we'll go back to the inventory and we'll again create another the movement request. Okay, so movement request, the transfer. Now at this time transfer, system won't ask you to choose the destination account because you are performing the sovereignty transfer. So let's take example, raw material, and destination is also, let's take example, the staging or FG. So let's choose the staging. Now I will say plus, select my item. Okay, so ABB, now search, app selected. Okay, requested quantity 10. Now over here, okay, let me choose the locator. Okay, and since we don't have the the locator, destination locator, because I'm utilizing a stage because I have not defined any other, right? That's why I'm utilizing. You can create your own couple of sovereignty and you can play with it. That is what the task, right, for you today. And destination locators, right? So locator is grayed out because I have not defined my staging sovereignty. For that I will say submit. So my another movement request got submitted. Okay. It will come also approval. Now you will notice that, right? Bell icon getting the notifications. Okay. So whenever, your as a creator, if you are creating the movement request, right? And once it's approved, then you will also get your FIA notifications. Okay. All right. Now what we'll do, we'll go back and we'll assign couple of data access. So let's go ahead. So manage data access. Okay. Okay. So warehouse manager, inventory organization, ABB, INV01. That is what our, so this combination is already exist. Inventory manager, let's see, inventory manager. Okay, inventory organization, ABB, INV01. So that is also we have done. Okay, shipping agent. So let's done with the shipping agent. That is also we have done. Receiving. Okay. So why we are defining or choosing, right? Let me, roles. Okay. So what roles you can use, warehouse manager. Okay. Inventory manager. Okay. Then you have the receiving agent in order to perform the receiving. Then, shipping agent. Okay. You can have, the warehouse. Okay. Operator. And you have the shipping manager. Okay. So these roles, will be, you have to utilize, when you would like to, perform the transaction. So if you assign the warehouse manager, it's itself give you the privilege to perform the shipping activity, perform the receiving activity, right? So you don't need to, provide others, right? Inventory management will give you, whereas you to perform the transaction inventory related and give you the balances and all the costing side, right? So any these two roles will be provided to the user, right? If you have dedicated to task, right, that receiving can be performed. Manager means you have the additional privilege. And if you looked at the agent means that particular the transaction to be performed by the user. Okay. So far, any question?
No, sir. Correct.
Okay.
And
Now, if you notice, right, my request, in my, notification area where I can approve or reject. So I will say approve and I will go back and check my request. Okay. So I will go to the inventory management. Okay. And what I will do, I will go back to the movement request and try to search. So I think there is some space. So let me remove that. So, even though you are trying to search, right, you won't be able to get the data. So you have to make sure that you have done. Now in the action, right, you have the details where you can, enable the details. So where you can check, requisition is approved, how much the quantity, right? What will be the description, date, who has status, current status, who has created, right? What will be the source, the destination, entire. If you have the lot control, serial control, entire steps you can look at. Okay. All right. So we have created this. Okay. All right. Now after that, right, what we have to do, we have to go to the schedule process. Okay. Once we click on the schedule process, right, we have to type task or the schedule process name, print movement request. So let me search. Okay. Yeah. So print movement request pixel report. So that is what the ESS job you have to choose in order to pick that material. Okay. Once you select, then you have to give, you know, the organization name. Okay. So first stage, what we have done, we have just created a request and that request is approved. Then only you will be able to, picking and doing the confirmations. Okay. Pick wave rule we have created for what? Pick wave rule we have created, in order to, do the picking related to sales order, transfer order, or maybe return. Okay. Now our organization. So ABB and V0 movement request number. So you can enter your movement request number from to 2. So if you have in a series, maybe 10, 11, 12, 13. So you can enter 10 and 13. So all three movement requests will together get picked up. Source sovereignty. If you have the source sovereignty, based on that you would like, you don't want movement request, you want source sovereignty, then you can select. So if you notice that these all are the you know optional parameters. Okay. Now requested movement request type. So movement request type means all. Okay. If you have outbound means coming right from the warehouse, then requisition or replenishment or all. So this is all. Then if you have the orders, that also you can do. Release approved lines. Okay, means you want only approved line to be chosen, then you have to select yes. There are further parameter based on the project number. So these are based on your requirements will come. Okay. Now you will say submit. Okay. So movement request. So space is there. Okay. Let me remove that. Now it got successfully submitted. So we'll see that the status, whether it's picked or reserved. Okay, the material. So Let refresh. So now it's running. Okay. So now it got succeeded. So we'll go through, the report and we'll look at, right? So let me save that record. Okay. Now movement request. Okay. So if you notice that the movement request, right? So ABB inventory organization, this is a open picks. And if you notice that this is what our movement request number was, right? Line number 1, since we have only one item added, open picks means it's not yet confirmed. Okay. So we have just picked the material, allocate the material, right? Okay. For that particular transaction. Now this material is transferring from raw material to staging. Who has requested, right? The quantity. So this is the standard movement request pick slip report. Okay.
Sir, this is the only request or these item has been picked.
Sorry.
This is the only request or item has been picked.
Yes, yes. So this is only the request, right? Where which allow you to pick that the material or allocate that material, not confirm, because what we have done, we have not confirming any material, right? Okay, immediately we'll do manual confirm. Just it will create the picks, allocate the material. Okay.
Okay, okay. So, okay, understand.
Okay. Okay. So print movement request. So that is what our task name. Okay. So this is what the material. So once your movement request, right? Once movement request got approved, after that you have to use print movement request pixel program. Okay. All right. So we have done. Now we'll go back. Okay. First we have done for the transfer. Okay. Not issue. Okay. Now if I go to the inventory management, okay, you will notice that there is a one pix got open. Okay. And if you click, right. Okay. If you click, so let it be open. Okay. So if you notice that this is what our pick slip number, and now current status is open. Mean it's just allocated, not yet confirmed. Okay. We'll click on the pick slip number, and there is a option. So let's take an example. If you have 10 line, 20 lines, so you don't need to go ready to confirm one by one. Okay. You can simply click on ready to confirm, pick the quantity, right? So requested quantity was 10, right? Pick the quantity if you would like to, right? Let's say the partial, that also you can do. So I will say, since I am utilizing for whole quantity, so I have entered the 10, and there is the confirm. So there is a two option. Either you can confirm, so you will be remain on this, or you can click on the confirm and close, so that window will be closed. So we'll say confirm and close. Okay, so now you will notice that your material will be transferred to the stage. Okay, and then we will go back to the. So let's take an example. If you created your movement request, it got approved, and you immediately go to review completer, you won't be able to see that until unless you perform these transactions. Okay, so now if I go back to the review completed transaction, and if I search, right, you will notice that. So now this is what our raw material, where from we have picked. This is what is staging, where we have put it our stock. So you will notice that minus means it reduced, and it's added into the staging. Okay.
Sir, I want to know, uh, is there any option to mention the name of picker who has picked the shipments?
So for that, so anyway, okay, so anyway, who has requested or picking, right? So basically there are, the person can be there, right? So that can be, captured by the system name. But if you would like to see somewhere, either you can, somewhere additional or maybe reporting point of view, you can bring that to the custom report. Okay. So basically, let me go back, and again we will pick our earlier one, right? So this is what we have done. Now we'll create print print movement request pixel ABBINB01, and movement request was our 112. So let me enter that, and I will say yes only. Now submit. So we have submitted. Now let me refresh. Okay. So if you notice that this is also we have picked, and that is also open pick requested by, right? Now, if you would like to, print the picker name, and, that also you can capture somewhere, and then you can print upfront. Otherwise, you can get it, after the pick confirm is done. Okay. Because until unless the pick confirm done, right, you don't have the data available. Correct. Now we'll go back to the inventory management. In the inventory management, we have, now you will see that, right? Two records. So green means confirmed today. Blue means open. So if I click there, right, I will notice that it's still not yet confirmed. So I will say ready to confirm, and I want issue the 10 quantity. I will say confirm and close. So now the transaction has been done, and if we go to the review completed transaction and try to search, you will notice that the material got issued -10. There won't be plus, because this is what we have issued. Okay. And if you try to add, the columns, so let me add the columns. So we can enable, all. So what all information you can get it from the review completed transaction, and you can export into Excel for your, the purpose. Okay. So if you notice that locator also captured, right? Data is also coming. Transaction type is coming. Now you will see that account. Source reference means your movement request number. This account is also get captured. Right? Creation created by transfer organization, transfer sovereignty detail. How much the quantity? It is type, transaction type, issue or the sovereignty transfer. Okay. Now this is a costing. It is a costing status, right? So we have not yet costed the transaction. Okay. Now these are the rest of the information at what purpose. So based on the transaction, these respective details. So whenever the purchase order, work order, right? So respective detail will be populated. Okay. You can export simply into Excel, and you can do your analysis that you can provide to your business user. Okay. So we have done the, okay, pick confirm. Okay. So we have done the pick confirm. All right. Okay. So what we have covered, manage item quantities. We have covered the create miscellaneous transaction, create sovereignty transfer. Uh, we have done the manage movement request. Okay. Review completed transactions, that we have also covered, right? Lot and serial, right? If you have the lot and serial genealogy to be checked, right, you can go to the lot and serial number, right? Confirm pick slip, so that we have also done. So you can either use from the dashboards or you can go to the confirm pick slip, this task. Okay, so let me mention that confirm pick slip. Okay, all right. Now what next? So we have pending transaction called the create inter organization transfer. Okay, and the transfer order. Okay, for that what we need another inventory organization to be there, so that we can do the transfer, right? Why this inter organization come into the business scenario? When, let's take an example, uh, I'm having one business entity and that business will have two warehouses. Okay, and let's take an example, the location is nearby, right, and I want that material to be transferred, right? If they don't have material to be sold, and both warehouses using the same item code, I'm not talking about the different item codes. Okay, both warehouse will have the same item available in the system. So let's take an example. If you notice, okay, generally in a real business, right, if you go and visit to the Chroma will have couple of stores. So let's take an example, those are the warehouses. So Chroma will have Gurgaon location. Okay, and then nearby Gurgaon location, and one Chroma will be available to Noida. Customer visited to the Gurgaon Chroma site. Now Chroma will not have a specific item available. So now in order to fulfill that customer demand, right, Chroma Gurgaon requested to the Chroma Noida team. So Noida team will perform all those shipments. So material will be available to Chroma Gurgaon, and Chroma Gurgaon will be able to deliver that goods to the customer. So that's how we need the inter-organization transfer in a scenario, or you can say the transfer order. Okay, inter-organization transfer. Okay, inter-organization transfer will have so either you can have the document. So if you would like to have the approval in place, then you can go with the managed transfer order process. If you don't want any approval, then you can use the inter-organization transfer. Okay, so for all those, you know so will you guys be able to explore this or as a task? So this is the good opportunity for you to also do the check and do hands on, or shall I explain?
Yeah, we will do it by ourselves.
Yeah, so if you face, so what is the good opportunity for us, right? What do you guys do, right? Try to perform, so create another inventory organization, how we did, right? I'm just giving you the heads up. Okay, and then there is a inter organization, the parameter also has to be created. That is also another task. I'm giving you the heads up. So if you done this successfully transaction, then this is the best learning for you guys. If you say I can explain, no problem, but first try, that is what the task, and give me the heads up that you are able to achieve it. Okay, so create inter organization transfer, direct mode as well as in transit. Direct, what it means, I'm giving you the heads up. Okay, so direct means you pick the material and you deliver directly to your B organization sub-inventory, so they don't need to receive it. There is a no receiving person. But if you say in transit, that means you shipped out material from the Noida and Gurgaon team has to perform the receiving of it. Okay, that is the in transit. Okay,
Yes, sir.
direct in transaction. Both you have to perform.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And now we have the transfer order.